Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
Hi, and welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to go over using enzymes in your pool. Enzymes are a great way to enhance the chlorine in your pool. So I'm going to go over some of the benefits of using the enzyme and different enzyme products in your pool or spa. Leslie's Pool Supplies is a proud partner of the Pool Guy Podcast Show. Leslie's Pool Supplies has been do-it-yourselfers and pool trade professionals' trusted partner since 1963, providing quality products and services to make pool care easy and solutions and expertise to do it right. So of course, the first question you may be asking are what exactly are enzymes? I think in the last few years, the use of enzymes have really picked up. I think also thanks in part to Arenda with their CV600. They're really pushing that on the pool service professionals, and it's really catching on in the industry. And for the homeowner segment of the market, Natural Chemistry has a good marketing strategy behind their Pool Perfect, sold in many retail pool stores as well as online. And you can see great reviews on the Pool Perfect product by Natural Chemistry. So both these combined have really pushed the enzymes in the pool industry to another level. And I think there is a lot of misconception about what exactly enzymes are and their benefits. So first, the enzymes are not going to replace using chlorine sanitizer in your pool. So you're going to need to continue using chlorine even with an enzyme. It's not a replacement in any way for the sanitizer. So get that out of the way real quick. So you're going to need chlorine in your pool. And typically you want to keep your chlorine level at 3 parts per million to 5 parts per million depending. And this will help fight and kill the viruses and bacteria and microorganisms that are in the pool. So the enzymes don't kill the bacteria, microorganisms, or viruses in your pool. But they, of course, do help enhance the chlorine in your pool. And I'll go over some of that in this podcast for you so you kind of get an idea of what I mean when I say that it's a chlorine enhancer. So an enzyme is a naturally occurring protein. And what it does is it speeds up the chemical process to break down non-living organic material that's in the pool. Basically, if you have this black scum line on your water line or in your skimmer, this is all the organic filth basically building up in your pool that can't be broken down by the chlorine in the pool. That's not what chlorine does in your pool. So here are some common non-living organic pollutants that will find their way into your pool. You have bird droppings, you have dust that can be blown in there, pollen, any kind of pollution that's in the area will blow into the pool and settle in there. And then you have things like sunscreen, body oils, dead leaves, dead insects, skin as you're swimming in the pool fall off, human hair, cosmetics are another big one there that have that, and they also have phosphates in them. I'll go over the blended formula too in this podcast for you that includes a phosphate remover. So all of these things will add up and they'll create a higher chlorine demand. They'll also create poor water quality. So the water may be cloudy. You may notice that the filter is working a lot harder to clean the pool because of all the oils. And if you've ever taken apart a DE filter and you notice that the diatomaceous earth is really slimy in there, or even a cartridge filter, you can feel like a slimy film on there. This is pretty prevalent in those cartridge filters in the spa, but also in your pool. A lot of the oils that people are wearing and also the body oils and the oils in the hair will get into the filter. And so one thing the enzymes will do is that they'll also help clean the filters out. If you have a sand filter, they're really effective in cleaning out the sand of these oils. So one of the side benefits of having the enzymes in the pool is that they'll actually clean the oils out of the filter to some degree. So if you notice that your filter has a slimy buildup in there, that's a lot of that is the oils that are in the pool that the chlorine can't break down, and they end up in the filter. So the enzymes definitely will help break those down. And if you notice, again, your filter is very slimy or the DE is really caked on there and it feels kind of almost like Play-Doh, definitely enzymes will help you in that respect. But back to how the enzymes actually help with the water in the pool. All of these non-living organics will cause the chlorine to work harder in the pool and be used up faster, and so this will add to a negative water quality as the chlorine level drops rapidly in the pool. And also the scum line, you'll notice it build up in your pool on the tiles or in the skimmer. So one way to fight that is with a maintenance dose of the enzymes in your pool every week. And you got to be consistent when you're adding the enzymes. And so weekly maintenance dose is recommended by the manufacturers of the product because that keeps a residual enzyme in the pool. One of my favorite aspects of the enzymes is that it doesn't take a lot of enzyme product in your pool every week to be effective. For instance, the Natural Chemistry Pool Perfect, all that's required is 4 ounces per 8,000 gallons, which is 1 capful of their product per 8,000 gallons. So if you have a 15,000 gallon pool, you're adding about 8 ounces of the Pool Perfect to your pool every week to keep that maintenance dose or keep the enzymes in the water, which is not a lot of product. If you're using the Orenda CV600, you're adding 5 ounces per 10,000 gallons. So basically the same dosage of both of these. One of the things you also need to note, I guess I should back up a little bit, is that the Natural Chemistry Pool Perfect is not really labeled as an enzyme per se. I'm not sure what the thinking behind that is. I know the Pool Perfect has a good reputation in the industry now, and Natural Chemistry calls it their SmartZyme technology. So basically the enzyme is made up of botanicals, malts, or molasses. I'm giving you off their website the description of what's in the enzyme. So the enzyme is an all-natural product. It's basically something that's found already in nature. So it's not any kind of chemical that's going to be harmful to you or your family or your pets. It's very safe to swim in a pool with enzymes in it. And they call it their SmartZyme technology, which means that the formula is for hot tubs and spas or cold waters of the pool. Whatever swimming environment you have, their enzymes are going to work in there because they specifically target a specific organic pollutant and break that down in the water. So it doesn't matter if you have a hot tub or if you have a saltwater pool or a regular chlorine pool, these enzymes are going to work and break everything down. And again, I mentioned that they're non-toxic to pets and swimmers. They're non-corrosive to the pool equipment. They're hypoallergenic, compatible with all the sanitizers out there. They contain no biodegradables. And these are just something that's safe to add to your pool. And it definitely is something that you may want to consider if you're having problems with the water quality, if you have a lot of dead bugs or dead leaves or birds are using your spillway. Definitely a way to eliminate those contaminants so that the chlorine is freed up to work better and more effectively. And so the 2 enzymes that I use on a regular basis are the Natural Chemistry Pool Perfect, and I also use the Orenda CV600. The Pool Perfect is not really labeled as an enzyme, which they probably should put that on the label. In fact, nowhere on the label does it say it's an enzyme, but everyone knows that it's a SmartZyme or an enzyme product for your pool. I guess I should back that up. Not everyone knows that because I get people that ask me which one is the enzyme product for Natural Chemistry. I know their pro grade or trade grade product does say enzyme on it. For the consumer market, I think it would be a good idea for them to add the word enzyme to their Pool Perfect product. So if you're listening, Natural Chemistry, add the word enzyme to your product because the homeowner or consumer knows what an enzyme is by now. It's been around for a long enough time. And the Orenda, they have the enzyme clearly labeled. Enzyme water cleaners labeled on their particular product. And so to just kind of stop the confusion, I think Pool Perfect needs to add that word enzyme there so that people know that it is an enzyme for your pool. But again, everyone has been using Pool Perfect for a long time and they know the benefits. If you look at the reviews, it's a 5-star product. It does work really effectively. So you're going to notice that your chlorine is holding longer in your pool. Of course, you want to make sure your filter is clean, the pool is circulating long enough, but you're going to notice the chlorine is going to hold up a lot longer and you're going to have much better water quality using the enzymes. You're going to notice that the scum line is going to start to disappear around your tile area of your pool. And one way that I treat a pool with a lot of scum on the tiles is I'll raise the water level and then I'll add a larger dose of the enzyme product to there and I'll keep the water level high for a period of time. This works really well in the wintertime if you get a lot of rain to keep the water level high above the scum line and let the product kind of work into the scum line and break it down. So it's really effective in preventing it from happening and also for treating it in a lot of cases. So for commercial pools, it would be a great benefit because a lot of people use a commercial pool. They're wearing a lot of sunscreen or oils, and this gets on the tile of the commercial pool very quickly. For apartment complex, hotel, things like that, you'll notice a black buildup on the tile line. And in that case of a pool professional, you would want to buy larger quantities to save money. So you would buy the larger sizes of the CV600. And Natural Chemistry does sell pro grade and trade grade sizes that are a gallon of the enzyme product. And that particular product is called the Enzymes, and this is a larger concentrated dose of the enzymes, more for pool service or commercial use. Of course, if you're a consumer with a very large pool, you may want to invest in the gallon size Enzyme container or the larger size of the CV600. One thing that Arenda recommends with their enzyme water cleaner, the CV600, is that you do a purge dose when you first start using the enzymes. They sell these in 1 quart containers. You can find these at your pool store. Of course, if you're a pool pro, you can get them at your supplier. And they recommend adding 1 quart per 10,000 gallons to get started with the enzyme treatment. And you want to make sure you stay within the recommended dosage. If you add too many enzymes to the water, you're going to get the water foaming and bubbling. So you want to make sure you don't overdose the pool. So they recommend adding 1 quart per 10,000 gallons to get started, and then using the 5 ounces per 10,000 gallons as a maintenance dose. And there's some logic behind this. You're basically shocking your pool with enzymes, so to speak. They get it kind of going in your pool system to get the filter cleaned out. And it makes some sense to do this with an enzyme product. Not necessary, I don't think, if you don't want to do that. Natural Chemistry doesn't recommend that. They just want you to start with the maintenance dose in most cases. So I think if your pool is suffering, let's say you have dogs swimming in there and you notice that the water quality is really suffering and the scum line is really thick on there, you may want to do a purge dose of the enzymes to get started with, and then do the maintenance dose after that. And I have been testing the enzyme products now for a few seasons out on my pool route, and I can vouch for the fact that they do move the needle in a lot of pools with the water quality. They're actually affordable enough that you can actually try a bottle of the Pool Perfect yourself to see if it does make any difference in your pool. And I think that if you wanted to try the blended formula, they have a Pool Perfect plus phos-free. I just finished a video on that particular product, and I think there is a logic behind the blended formula. In the video, I call it the 1-2 punch for scum and algae in your pool. So one thing that I think really is effective is using both enzymes and a phosphate treatment together. And here's the logic behind that. The enzymes are going to break down the non-living inorganics in the pool, so to speak, and the phosphate remover is going to eliminate the food for algae in your pool. So you have one taking care of all the oils and all the things I mentioned earlier in the podcast, and then you have the phosphate remover taking care of the food for the algae, which a lot of the stuff that float on the surface, dead leaves, pollen, dead bugs, actually lead to algae, because algae will eat any kind of material that's in the pool. And so the phosphate remover is removing the food source, and then the enzymes are breaking down quickly all the stuff that would feed the algae. So you can kind of see how having both in one particular formula, or adding both at the same time, really will be a 1-2 punch for your pool. I guess I should trademark that before someone else does, but someone's probably going to take it right now. But it's definitely a 1-2 punch for your pool as far as having enzymes and phosphates together, working in conjunction to really break down all the things that use up the chlorine. So the bottom line is that by freeing up the chlorine to work more effectively for what it's meant to do, which is fight viruses, bacteria, and kill microorganisms in the pool, and also to keep the water clear, this will allow the chlorine not to be used up fighting all the other stuff that's in the pool, or fighting microalgae that may be present in your pool that you can't see. The phosphate remover will definitely kill all of that, and then the chlorine will be much more effective. You're going to notice that you're going to be using less chlorine in your pool week to week, which means you're going to be using less trichlor tablets if you use those in your pool, and you're going to have less algae blooms, so you're not going to be shocking your pool with large amounts of chlorine. So if you wanted to kind of do the math of this, when you buy a bottle of the Pool Perfect plus phos-free, so that is about $35 a bottle, and it's a 3-liter bottle, and so you have 100 ounces in there, basically a little over 100 ounces. So if you have a 15,000 gallon pool and you're adding 8 ounces a week, that'll last you about 3 months. And so, what is that? $10 a month basically for that. Now, can you save $10 a month in chemicals by adding the Pool Perfect and Phosphate to your pool? I would say typically yes. If you're going to use less of the 3-inch tablets and you're not going to be shocking your pool and adding an algicide every couple weeks or every week to your pool, you're definitely going to save the costs of that. And so when you're buying a bottle of it, you're not actually buying another product to put in your pool, but you're buying a product that's going to actually save you from adding other chemicals to your pool, if that makes sense. And so instead of buying a lot more chlorine for your pool or other kind of chemicals, you're actually putting something in there that will prevent the problems in your pool. So I think it's not like an additive for your engine. Those things probably don't work as effectively as they're labeled. But as far as this works, I think you're going to definitely enjoy algae-free water, and it's going to be much cleaner water. You're not going to have the oils built up in the pool, and a little bit goes a long way. Like I mentioned, you don't need to add a lot of the product to your pool. So if you have a 10,000 gallon pool, this is going to give you a lot more, because you just need to add a little bit over 4 ounces or 5 ounces to the pool. So this will last you pretty much the whole season, one bottle. And it's great to use in hot tubs. A lot of times you're going to see that scum line around the hot tub edge of the pool, of the hot tub, especially the fiberglass ones, and this is a great way to prevent that. I've even taken some of the Pool Perfect, put it on a sponge with the green scratchy side, and cleaned someone's tiles completely off with it. So I've done that before with a topical kind of use with the product. So I know the product's really effective. I use it at one of my pools on my route where there's several dogs that swim in there every week, and this really keeps that scum line down from building up on it. In fact, if you want to look at the video of the Pool Perfect product I've done, you can see that pool in there with that scum line that develops with the dog swimming in there. And if you go to any websites and look at the reviews, like for instance, I'm looking at Amazon right now, there's 1,248 reviews of the product, and it's almost 5 stars, 4.7 out of 5 stars. 84% of them gave it a 5-star review. So in my mind, that makes the product pretty much bulletproof. That means that most consumers, 84% of them, according to the Amazon review, says that this product actually works as it states. And of course, I've tested on my route. I can speak for it by adding the enzyme plus the phosphate remover to the pool. Definitely does move the needle. One word of caution: the phosphate remover inside the product can raise your filter PSI slightly. It's not a large amount of the phosphate remover, but if you have an older filter or a filter maybe with a single cartridge in there, you may notice that the PSI will rise in the pool after you add the product. In that case, you may want to just go with the straight enzyme, which is the Pool Perfect, and then add the phosphate remover on a smaller dose. That way you don't have that problem with the filter PSI going up. But the majority of people that use this product aren't going to see any effect on their filtration or on the PSI of the filter, because it's such a small amount of the phosphate remover being added to the pool every week. It's not a full phosphate treatment, so you're not going to see a big jump in the pressure of your pool. But if you do, I would say discontinue using the product and use just a straight enzyme, because the enzyme is not going to raise the filter pressure in your filter, but the phosphate remover will raise the filter pressure, because that's just the nature of the phosphate remover product. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it can raise the PSI in your pool. Again, you don't need to buy the blended formula, but I think this blended formula works really well. It's definitely a 1-2 punch for scum and algae in the pool, and it works effectively in enhancing the chlorine to a very high level. So if you wanted to, you try the blended formula, I recommend it. But again, you can just use the straight enzymes in your pool, and it's definitely going to help you whether you use the blended formula or just straight enzymes in your pool. And so to recap, the enzymes are going to break down or speed up the breaking down of all of these non-living organics in the pool, the bird droppings, dead leaves, dead insects, cosmetics, sunscreen, whatever gets in the pool. The enzymes are going to attack and break it down quickly, and by doing that, this will free up the chlorine to work more effectively in the pool, last longer, and actually do what it's supposed to do, which is attack the viruses, bacteria, and microorganisms. So you're going to use less chlorine in your pool, have clearer water, And basically, you're going to notice a difference by using the enzymes in your pool. I can pretty much guarantee it from what I've used on my route and in my own personal pool. The enzymes actually work. And if you head over to my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, I have a web page on the Pool Perfect plus Phos Free. You can go to the tab where it says chemicals and scroll down and click on that to learn more about the product. And you can also find other great web pages on my website, and I have an ebook available for $9.99. And if you're in the industry and you're starting out, or if you want to enhance your business, definitely check out my coaching program. A lot of great benefits there, including the ability to text me and call me in real time, plus a discount on your general liability insurance. So you can learn more about that at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. Leslie's Pool Supplies has been do-it-yourselfers and pool trade professionals' trusted partner since 1963, providing quality products and services to make pool care easy and solutions and expertise to do it right.